Hi everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a very special story. And this is not mythological story. This one was told by Swami Vivekananda, but excellent one. And the name of the story is Each One is Great in His Own Way. That I'm going to tell you. In a certain country there was a king, and so many sannyasis used to visit him. And the king asked questions to all the sannyasis, whomever he met, that, "Oh sannyasis, tell me, who is a greater man? Whether he who gives up everything and leads a sannyasi life, or a person who performs all his duties and lead a household life as a householder, who is better?" As he was asking, sannyasis were giving him answer. But if anyone says anything, immediately the king was asking him to prove it. Somehow, and if he was not satisfied with the answer of the sannyasis, he forced them to get married. However, this thing was going on every day. Once a young sannyasi came to that court with a brilliant sannyasi came. And when the king asked him, "Tell me who is greater?" Then exactly like before, he asked whether a sannyasi or a householder. Now this young sannyasi said, "O king, each one is great in his own way, in his own place." Then the king said, "How is it? Prove it." Then the sannyasi said, "I can prove it, but if you'll be with me, you come with me, I will prove it." As the sannyasi demanded this thing, and the king agreed, and then the king went with that sannyasi. The sannyasi crossed a long distance. After a while, they reached a country where a grand ceremony was going on. Now, looking at the ceremony, they entered into that hall. There, where the ceremony was taking place, the people were very happy at that time, because it was the swayamvar of the princess of that kingdom, of that king. Now, they came to know that swayamvar had already taken place so many times. But since the princess was very beautiful and she wanted to marry the most handsome fellow in this earth, that is why she didn't agree. She always rejected all other princes. So that was also the swayamvar day, and so many princes gathered there. Now in that assembly, suddenly a young sannyasi came to that place. And the moment the sannyasi came, he was looking like as if the sun has come down to earth. He was so radiant, looking so radiant. And he stood in the corner, in a corner of that Sabha hall, Swayamvara hall. That the princess, the bearer, those who were carrying the princess, they were supposed to stay with one prince. And then the princess asked them to go ahead, because if she didn't like, she asked them to go ahead. Like this every time, with before all the princes, the bearer, they just carried her. And the princess, after crossing so many princes, suddenly she saw this young, radiant sannyasi. So she became very happy and she threw the garland to that sannyasi. And the sannyasi, that young man, immediately took it out and threw it out. And he said, "What is this? What is this nonsense? I am a sannyasi. What is the meaning of marriage to me? Why she had done this?" And she threw it. that sannyasi, he threw that garland. So the king thought that, when the father of that princess, he thought that maybe the sannyasi is a poor one, and that is why he said like this. Then he announced that after marriage, the whole half of the kingdom will be yours, and after my death, the whole total kingdom will be yours. So marry my girl. And once again, so he once again took that garland and threw it to his to that sannyasi. But the young sannyasi once again threw it off, and he went away from that hall. Again he said the same thing. Look, marriage is meaningless, and this is nonsense. I don't want to marry. He threw the garland and went away. The princess was so much in love with that sannyasi, that young man. She ran after him. She said that either I will marry him or I shall die. She said this and she ran. As she ran, this king and the sannyasi who brought the king, just to prove this, each one is great in his own place, they both, the sannyasi said, king, oh king, come with me, let us follow them. But they kept a distance and they followed this princess and the other sannyasi who went ahead. But that sannyasi, that young man, he already crossed a long distance, and after that he came near a forest and entered into the forest. And he was well acquainted with the path of that forest. But this princess, she didn't know, and she followed him. And ultimately, she went inside that forest. But this prince, this young sannyasi, as he knew the forest path very well, he entered in a intricate path and disappeared. That means this princess, she couldn't see him anymore. Then she started crying. She wept aloud and she began to cry. And at that time, this king and the sannyasi, they both reached at her. Then the sannyasi said, and even the king said, oh girl, oh princess, don't weep. This is already dark. It was night time. This is already dark. We even don't know the way out. So let us rest here tonight, and tomorrow morning we will find out the way and we will show you the path. Thus they took their rest, all of them, means three. They took their rest under a tree. On the top of that tree, a little bird was living with his children, family, his wife, his son, and with his two children. Now, as they saw that these three were sitting under the tree, the little bird said, male bird said, he addressed to his wife, look, they are our guest now, and this one is winter, so they must be hungry. Now, as a householder, this is our duty that we should feed them something. We should show our hospitality. Thus, and winter season is going on, so they must be feeling cold. Let me bring some fire. Thus the little bird went and got some burning firewood in his beak and dropped it before them. And as they saw the firewood, they added some fuel and they got the blazing fire. Now, this much he had done, but still he was not satisfied. Immediately he said, hey, look, he told to his wife, look, they are hungry and we don't have anything to give them now. So at least let me give my place. Thus he said, and he dropped himself down into that fire and burnt into ashes. But these three, they were trying to stop him. I mean, when they saw, they tried to save him, but they couldn't. Now the wife said, "Ki look, my husband just tried to do something for our guest, and let his effort not go in vain. This much of place that will not satisfy their hunger, so let me also drop myself." So she also jumped into the fire and burnt herself. Now the children said, "Ki look, whatever our parents are doing, we must try to follow their footsteps, because they were trying to do some noble work and to serve their guests. So if our parents are not there, let us follow complete their wish." Thus both of them also jumped into the fire. They all burnt into ashes. But unfortunately, this princess, the king and the sannyasin, none of them ate anything. They didn't eat any flesh. However, the next day morning, they showed the path to that princess and she went away to her father. Now the sannyasi, this young sannyasi, asked the king, "Ki, O king, have you seen it? Have you got anything from it?" They all did the noble work. If you want to live, means he said that they all are great each one is great in his own place. Look, if you want to live in this world, then live like those little birds. And yes, if you want to renounce the world, then live like this sannyasi, to whom this princess and this young sannyasi, to whom the beauty, the princess and the kingdom is meaningless. And yes, if you want to live like a householder, then be prepared to sacrifice like these birds any moment for the welfare of others. And yes, if you want renunciation, then remember, do not look at the beauty, the wealth, the property or the kingdom. That means beauty, money and kingdom. Nothing, everything is valueless. So, O king, just consider what I answered you is correct or not. Each one is great in his own place. What we learn from this bird's family is nothing but a unique lesson. Well, this much is the story. Once again, I will meet you with some other day, some other new stories. Thank you.